to fade into the sunset. I say we're Mickey and Mallory, wind up swinging from the cottonwood tree. Never going to change the world. It's just a story of a boy and a girl.
What's up, everybody? This is Keith Stixx with Tsunami Cables, and this is Sound Off with Stixx. I've got my good friend here, Tony Puleo. How you doing, Tony?
Hey, man. How are you, Keith?
Good, man. Good.
Woo.
Super stoked to have you here in the shop and everything else. And we've got you playing tomorrow, the first Tsunami bass hang.
I'm so stoked to play tomorrow, man.
It's going to be great, man. So, and we just got done a little while ago doing a cool round table. With,
oh, my God. It was exhausting, but fucking awesome.
It was. Yeah, it was absolutely great. You, Steve Arajo, and John Moody, and myself, and yeah, it was killer. So, yeah, man. So let's talk about you, Tony. Let's talk about.
I gotta.
Yeah, you gotta. Unfortunately,
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna do what I can.
So
I'm boring.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. So let's start off from the beginning. When did you start? Well, first of all, where'd you grow up? Let's start there.
So I grew up in a little town, Stoneham, Massachusetts, just like 9 miles north of the city, and it was a plethora of music.
Nice.
For some reason, it's like the first white picket fence town, suburbia, north of the city. So it's like where it's first, like the city stopped, and now it's suburbia. But it was loaded with musicians. Just absolutely, I don't know what it is. And there's people from there that are working the industry to this day that like been executives in the industry, not here on the West Coast now, to like guys in the biggest tribute bands, to just pure working people. It's something in the water.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was inundated.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's awesome. So when did you start playing music in general?
High school.
Okay.
The guy next to me, so I went to vocational school.
Okay.
That it was like 10 towns or something like that. I don't know how many, 10, 12, something like that. Towns of kids went together freshman year of school.
Okay.
And so you were grouped in by grade level and alphabetical. So you didn't know, most likely you didn't know the kid next to you. He might have been from 4 towns away.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
And like as a freshman in high school at 13, 14 years old.
Right.
It just so happened that the guy next to me, which was from like 2 towns over from me, and I never knew him, and it was quiet, was a phenomenal guitar player.
Oh, that's cool.
So I hung out with him. We met, hi, because I'm so shy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly.
And then, he was a great player. And I didn't end up playing with him right away, but being in that music circle and then being where I was from, the town I was from, it just kind of, it perpetuated me. And I'm still in contact with this guy to this day.
That's cool. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. That's awesome. So that got you through high school, playing all through high school.
In
right?
high school, what helped me was, back then, everyone wanted to be a shreddy guitar player. You know? And I'm like, I felt more inclined rhythmically. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to play drums.
Yeah.
So what's me?
Right.
And that was bass. And
That's
being that age and being a bass player where it was a minority, you could really get into a good band if you had your poop together.
Yeah.
So, and play with very good guitar players. And I was very fortunate to ride on like the coattails of people who had more skill than I did.
That's cool.
And I'll admit it.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, that's cool though. That's awesome, man. So that got you through high school, and then you got into college, and you went from college, or for after high school, where did you go? Did you go straight into college, or?
I went straight into college. I played in a top 40 band, right afterwards. Went to Canada. I played up there, came back, went to Berkeley College of Music, and then I dropped out.
Yeah.
One semester. I'll never forget my Theory 101 class. I don't even know what the professor's name is now. I don't think he's there anymore. Sitting Indian son on the desk goes, the only reason why you guys are here right now is because you're not out playing for a living. And my mind is immediately like, I'm paying all this money to hear you're here because you're not playing for a living. So it kind of set me off bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, ugh. And then, I think I've told you the story, but I'll tell it for the. I got in a fight.
Yeah.
I got in a fight with like a big German kid, like I think he was a trombone player, brass guys. And at that time I had really long hair and I was way skinnier, than I am now. And, I would have got my ass kicked if it didn't get broken up. And I was like, okay, I'm done with music school.
Yeah.
But it inspired me to keep up my practice.
That's cool.
To keep up my practice. Then I went to engineering school. I got, I got a degree and a certification in that. And that helped me a lot, at that time period in my life, and taught me focus.
Right.
And I, kept up personal practice and studied with some people from Berkeley, as well. So, and then some other private teachers, and I got through that, and and I got into bands. I was, again, a social guy. Yeah. So I found the right people to play with, and opened up like a lot of national acts. Was in bigger like heavy rock bands in Boston at the time. Cool. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. And then at what point? Because you did some pretty good sized touring too. You played with
my old band. We did some shows with Living Color.
Right.
I played with Carly Simon.
Yeah, so you played with Carly Simon.
Yeah, and then kind of, when I think the real grunge thing happened, I didn't play that at that time. I kind of grew my musical roots. I played in a reggae band. I played everything else but.
Gotcha.
Anything else but. And then I did a lot of top 40. Yeah. And I kind of grew my more musical chops then, because I was playing like multiple sets a night.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then from there, I went back and forth with day gig stuff and so forth and everything. And then I went in and I landed some theater work. Right. That was enough to float me. Yeah. And I've been doing that for, on and off for years. Yeah. Right. Years, and it helps a lot. It's helped a real. I've been lucky. I always say this, and this is going to be weird, but I don't feel I have any natural talent. I feel I just got drive. Yeah. I'll just go. I'll just keep going.
Right. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay. So we met through some recommendations from some of the other Tsunami artists, through Damien Erskine.
Damien, I mentioned you.
Yeah, mentioned us because he's one of the Tsunami family members, and so he, gave a recommendation, and I believe so did Derek Ogden, because I know
I turned Derek on to them.
That's right. That's what it was. I was like, I'm trying to remember the connection. I'm trying to remember.
I met Damien through Derek.
Gotcha.
And then I don't know if Derek knew much about Tsunami. Right. So it was kind of a weird thing. Right. Derek to Damien to me with Tsunami. Then Derek, hey. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Again, trying to keep all you guys straight. Full-time job.
I can't remember half the things I do, but I remember those little weird incidents.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's awesome. Well, let's talk gear. Oh, you've got a signature bass, which is pretty rad.
I do.
It's pretty cool. So why don't you talk about that for a minute?
I have a signature Mike Lowe TP5. What makes it different is I think I'm the first production, if you want to even call Mike Lowe production. It's a custom bass, but it's a model. It's a real model that anybody can order. They can order that. And it's like the first known signature instrument that I was talking to Kerry Noidstrand about this, that incorporates the Noidstrand audio big single pickups.
Oh, cool.
So that's one of the key things. I think that there's one other guy that Stu McKinsey, he had he uses big singles, but it's more of an esoteric instrument, and he'll admit that's like an 8 or 9 string thing. It's extended range. It's very particular. But I'm playing a conventional 5-string instrument that anybody can grab and play. That incorporates the big singles. And the thing I do with it is kind of neat. It's a brighter instrument. I use ebony on my board. I pull my neck pickup back closer to the bridge. The bridge is standard, and I pull the neck pickup back so it's tighter, less scoop sounding, and it's an aggressive instrument. It's like bang, you hit a note, and it's not like a jazz bass, that scoop. It's more like poof. It's its own thing. Not quite a Music Man. It's like if you took a Music Man and a jazz bass and blend them together.
Gotcha. Okay.
that's the Mike Lowe TP5.
Nice.
I feel, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's really cool. And amps, you're a GK guy?
GK, 100% GK exclusively.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what out of their models, what are you using?
Oh God, man, I use almost
I use
everything. Yeah, I don't have. So I use the MB200, the MB800, the MBF800. I use that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I use the 1001, and I record with the 400RB.
Okay.
The older 400RB. It has a little bit of. It's not, if you crank it, it's not the politest. And it has that GK little hair, what they call riding the rails.
Okay.
And it's a weird kind of overdrive that is distinctive to GK.
Nice.
And you can hear it in my recordings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my recordings are not like crystal clear, perfectly. I'm not Pino Palladino.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's like beautiful, smooth. No, I've got a little bit of hair in it. That's my thing,
Crunch. Yeah, absolutely.
I do studio work with like a P bass or whatever, and do that, and I'll just use a tube DI, and I'll sound good for what that is. But me, as a brand, Tony Puleo brand, I'm having a little bit of hair in my bass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's really good. And then pedal wise, you have a decent, not a huge pedal board, but you have a good sized pedal board. What are you using on the pedal board?
I have what they call a utilitarian board. So I always have a tuner that's a kill switch. Right now, I made a mistake in another interview, so I apologize to Daryl Anders about that. I mentioned my studio compressor, which is I wasn't even using. I'm using MXR, so it's always a tuner MXR out to that to a dark glass B3K.
Okay.
And from there, it's usually an MXR octaver, envelope filter, and right out of there to the bass switch. And I've been using, God, this is going to sound horrible. I don't have an endorsement with this company, but I can't remember it. There's that, I've been using another phaser pelleter too that I just can't remember what it was off the top of my head. I have I don't know, I'm not like Juan Aldretti, but I probably have a box of like 60 pedals at home or something like that. I'm like, but it's basically is always an MXR compressor. It's always the B3K for overdrive and a polytone. And then there's always some sort of filter, some sort of octaver, maybe a couple of different filters to the bass switch, to the Leo bass switch, which I use live, which is very clean. And I send that to the front of the house.
Nice. Okay. Very cool, man. That's awesome. What was the first guitar or bass that you ever got? The first thing you ever got?
Oh, there was one, and I hated it.
That's always a good one, though.
Oh, I hated it. It's really embarrassing.
Which is even better.
Oh God, I have to admit this.
Yes.
I just thought it was cool, but I quickly, I think within a couple of months, got another one, and I sold that. I had a BC Rich Warlock.
Nice.
That's how awesome. Goofy is that?
Hey man, you were ready.
I thought it looked cool. I'm like, this looks rock, and then I was like, you know what? This looks way too heavy for what I'm doing.
Right.
So then, within the first year, I worked really hard. I always worked. I always did. I always was willing to do whatever I had to do for money.
Right.
I remember I bought a Charvel for $400 back then, and which was a lot of money.
Yeah.
To a high school kid.
Right.
And I bought a Charvel, and I gigged that 4-string PJ, a white 4-string PJ, all the way, God, for a long time. And I liked it so much that I built a couple of Warmits that were like that. And I liked them even better.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. Out of all of your, I have an idea which one you're going to pick, but out of all your basses and everything else, which I know is a lot, what if they were all in a burning building and you had to run in and grab one?
Oh my God.
Which one would it be?
Of course, the TP5.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And I didn't bring the TP5 with me out here only because I've done a video with it for the bass hang with Steve Arajo.
Right.
But I also have a working bass that I use all the time. If I have to learn something really quick for a client or something.
Gotcha.
I have an M5, which an M5, a Michael L M5, for people who don't know, is just basically his 24 fret jazz bass.
Gotcha.
And it's like a very modern, mine's 35-inch scale, because I play like an ape. I play hard. I need the longest scale. I don't need it, but I like it. And it's nothing crazy. It's alder. The fretboard is, it's not rosewood. It's slightly brighter, but it's not ebony. It's that, I forget. It begins with an M.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I forget, and I use that, and
Okay.
it's and that's my only bass. It's weird that doesn't have noise strain in it.
Okay.
So I kind of left. It's 2001. It was like a trade. It's obviously a way older instrument than before I started working with Mike Lell and getting my basses from Mike Lell.
Mm-hmm.
But I traded another bass, another newer Mike Lell for that. I have it wired in series. There's no the pan pot's there, but it's bypassed. So, and if I get up and go and have to do anything, that's the one I grab.
Nice.
I mean, the TP5 is a killer instrument, and I play a lot of theater. I play a lot of my own music with it. It's I don't want to kill the strings all the time. Sometimes it's like taking a shotgun to a barrel for fishing. Like it's just so aggressive and so gnarly.
Right.
That I'll just play a jazz bass.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. That makes sense. Absolutely. What is the worst thing that has ever happened to you on stage?
So many years ago, I was opening up for a band. I was real young. I was still like my teenage years.
Okay.
I was opening up for White Lion.
Okay. White Lion. Nice. Okay.
Man, I had an amp, which I won't name the company.
Okay.
And the fuse blew live.
Oh, wow.
And I'll just say it's an all tube amp.
Oh, wow.
And I was like so put off from all tube amps after that.
Oh.
And the kid that was working with me and helping with me, again, I don't get rid of friends. This is that many years ago, and this guy's still my buddy. Ran out to his car. I blew a fuse, and he got a fuse from his car. Took the fuse out, one of his like stereos or something like that.
Right.
Put it in, and it was obviously the wrong whatever it was, but I think it was the wrong because he got me through the rest of the night to the very last song. I was like, okay, and it blew like towards the end of that. I'm like, well, at least I made it through.
Right.
And that was really rough.
Yeah.
Playing a big room and having your amp blow and being down for a song and mimicking it,
Yeah.
that's that pain I can still feel.
I can see you're uncomfortable right now.
Oh, it did. It really made me uncomfortable to the point where it became, I think that helped make me a gear fanatic.
Okay. Yeah.
And I remember Will Lee, which is one of the guys who I'd look up to, say from the world's most dangerous band on Letterman, saying him losing a gig one time to not having a great sounding instrument, even though his playing was there. And I can't think of that. Like that's so crazy. Like here's a Sadowski endorser. Here's the guy who uses some of the best equipment out there. And it really stuck with me.
Yeah.
Not that gear is going to make you a better player, but it can make you a more professional of a player.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, well, we were talking with, Steve and you and everybody were talking earlier, too, about the same thing. Is if you're a professional musician, you need to look professional. You need to have a professional mentality, but that also comes with having professional gear that's going to work when you need it to work, and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I hear guys say, oh, I bring one bass to a gig, I never have any problems. And I know, a real artistic jazz guy who only goes on the road with one bass. It's like, oh, if there's any issue, I know how to bypass the preamp and wire these pickups, but I don't want to do that.
Right.
Like the show must go on.
Yeah.
I never go to a show with one instrument.
Right.
Ever. You know what I mean?
That. Yeah, absolutely.
So even if I'm flying out with one bass, I have something else with like somebody usually on standby.
Yeah.
Always.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely, man.
Backup cable, backup this.
Right.
It's, So I got a rig today. My rig came from Center Staging in Burbank, and I get my rig. There's two MBF 800 Fusions there. Not one, but here's two.
Right.
That's professionals.
Yeah.
These guys don't fuck around. So
Right.
I don't know if I'm supposed to swear. I know I swore
okay.
earlier, but like,
You can do it.
I'd rather just be honest. I don't want to fuck around.
Right.
I want multiple things of what I have to use to,
Yeah.
to get my job done.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. You don't want anything getting in the way of what you got to do.
No.
Yeah, absolutely, man. What advice would you give your younger self?
Calm the fuck down. I could try to do that to myself now. Calm the fuck down. I'm an old motherfucking guy and I'm still way too wound up. You know, I partially like it because if you're too calm,
Right.
you're not aggressive
Yeah.
to go for anything.
Right.
I had a cushy gig at one point in time. I had this little apartment by the beach, and I was like, everything was great. La da 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 da.
Right.
Don't get too comfortable.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think it's like when the lobster like has to outgrow his shell, or
Right.
I forget whatever crustacean does that. It's like,
Right.
and they have to grow, and like, you know, instead of being cozy in a safe space, whatever.
Right.
Fuck the safe space.
Right.
Just take a deep breath. Think of what you got to do. I wish I planned more.
Gotcha.
Look at 6 months, 24 months, 2 years,
Right.
where you want to be.
Okay.
I was having too good of a time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's also maturity and, you know, being young. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's part of it too. So I get it. I absolutely understand that.
I want, you know, not that it was a heavy party, but like,
Right.
I had a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, that's it, you know?
We all did. Absolutely. Awesome, man. Well, this next set of questions, basically just like the first word that pops in your head. All right, so just like rattle them
hold
off.
on,
Don't
I'm
think a ton about it. I know you're a thinker. Don't think a ton about it.
Okay, I'm not gonna. Here
All
it
right.
goes.
What's your favorite word?
Do.
Do. Okay, I like that. That's a good one. What's your least favorite word?
Hurt.
Hurt. All right, that's also a good one. What sound or noise do you love?
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate? Like, just boom.
I'm thinking of the one word thing. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, you can elaborate. You can talk about them. It's just like the first word that pops in your head. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
If I play a low D
Yeah.
on that stage, and it's a elevated stage, and the subs are just right,
Right.
and I feel it, it's like, fuck,
Yeah.
that's great. You know, like, I swear to God, like, walking into, like, the movie theater, which I don't go to the movies, and, you know, and I have a wife, 2 kids, it's like, when I go and take them over the last few years, the big thing we do, like, is we see whatever the latest Star Wars is in that first Saturday, that matinee,
Right.
and, like, the TPX systems are just overly loud.
Yeah.
And like people like holding their ears sometimes where where I live, and I hear that, I just go, ugh, that feels like sex. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know you're
That
talking about.
feels
I know you're-
good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, the sound of
The-
bass, that thunder.
That low end
Yeah,
is
the
like
low end.
addicting.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the adverse to that. So what sound or noise do you hate?
That's a good question. I don't know if I hate anything. I would have to think a human crying.
Yeah.
Because even bad sounds or dissonant sounds, I think, have a place.
Right. I can understand that.
Everything has a place. So it's not even a musical sound per se,
Right.
but the sound of sadness,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It doesn't
When
have
you
to
have
be a
daughters,
musical.
I have daughters, and I'm getting look, do you know me? I talk to you all the fucking time.
Yep.
My emotions are right here, man.
Yeah.
You know what's going on. When my daughters are upset, I'm fucking upset.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So
I understand it completely.
that's the sound. Oof, that kills.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. I understand that completely. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Part of me, part of me wishes I had a psych degree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And another part of me loves the military.
Yeah.
So that's, kind of
Yeah.
very opposite in a way.
Right, yeah.
You
But
know,
makes sense.
But, I do like talking and helping people if I can.
Right. Yeah.
Knowing I can talk,
Yeah.
but I can listen.
Right. No, absolutely.
I can totally listen.
Absolutely.
I don't mind listening.
Yeah.
You know, before we started this podcast, my friend called me with heavy stuff
Right.
from across the country. You know, it's like my friends are always reaching out to me.
Yeah.
And I'm always in the air.
Absolutely.
I mean, you see me. You drive up to Nam. When the fuck am I doing? I'm walking around circles in a parking lot with a phone in my head.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's photos of that online.
Yeah, there is. That's funny. So that's probably it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good one. I could see you doing that. All right. Before I ask my last question, where can people find you online?
I've been meaning to redo my website. I've owned the domain basewave.com, and that's a goal that's going to be up before NAMM.
Cool.
So BASSWAVE.com. But, you know, you can go to Tony Puleo, TonyPuleo 1 on Instagram, which I use a little bit. But you know what? You're going to put Tony Puleo in the search box. And there's a lot of Tony Puleos in this world. This motherfucker is going to come first.
Yeah. I love it.
You know what I mean?
Number one.
You know, just because I'm out there, you
Right.
know, so.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you do a lot. I mean, you do a lot on, Facebook, Instagram, and, Talkbase.
I keep
and all
up my
that
social
stuff.
media thing.
Yeah, you do
and I'm
quite a
Tony
bit.
P on Talkbase. I used to be Basewave.
Okay.
Because my other love is surfing. So that's
Right.
where the Basewave came from, BASSWAV. I love to surf. But but I am Tony P. And I'll come right up on Talkbase too. And I field questions every day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Every
Absolutely.
day. Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome, man. Well, last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, dude, heavy. Flan's over there at that table. No,
I love it.
have a seat. Chill for a bit. Here's your next challenge.
Nice. I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to feed you good first, though.
Yeah.
And then you can go. I don't want to sit down and chill, man. Too long. Like, I don't want to do nothing.
Right.
I'm totally going to be, if it's reincarnation's a thing, if, like, the Buddhist aspect, I believe, they you come back.
Right.
I got to come back, man. I got to keep coming back.
Yeah.
I just want to learn a bunch of secrets first.
There you go.
Yeah. Tell me about the other people in the, this universe, where they are.
Right.
Right? Tell me those things that we all hunted for, and then kick me in the ass and send me back to this green blue ball.
I love it. Awesome, Jody. Well, thanks so much, man, for being
you, bro.
here. I love you, and I appreciate it.
I love you, bro.
And awesome. Well, that was it. Everybody else, thank you for checking out the podcast, and check out
Tsunami Cables,
Basewave soon.
Basewave.com. Yeah.
Check out Tony on Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff. And this is Sound Off with Stixx. Peace.
Peace. Cheers.